whether you are a business owner or you're getting ready for a job interview. This video is going to teach you about the different types of interview styles and how they work. So, let's get into it. When you think of a job interview, you're probably thinking about going to a company or a business and sitting down with the manager or the owner. They ask you a bunch of questions and basically you get the job or you don't. Well, this is definitely one way, but depending on the business, they may use multiple methods of interviewing to choose the best candidate. Learning about the different methods can really help you prepare. Number 1, screening interview. A screening interview is like a test before a test. Basically, it will allow the employer to determine if one simply qualifies, if one matches the job requirements for the position, and of course, credentials to fit the role. Basically, they use this method to narrow down the applicants. This is a great opportunity for candidates to set themselves apart from the rest, and of course, impress the interviewer. A screening interview usually takes place over the phone or over video. Companies across all industries use this method, but they are most often used in finance, technology, healthcare, and education sectors. One can really stand out by researching about the company and, of course, preparing for the interview. If you are successful, then you will progress to the next level. Number 2, telephone interview. So this is a little bit different than the screening interview. A phone interview can actually last much longer than the screening interview. However, phone interviews are kind of similar in that they basically narrow down the pool of candidates. This method is a great way for the employer to see if one has good communication skills. This really helps the employer to get to know the individual and get the non-negotiables out of the way, such as pay rate. The whole point of this is really to save time, not just for the employer, but also for the possible candidate. Telephone interviews can last anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes, possibly more, obviously, depending on the case. Once again, goes without saying, but it's important to prepare yourself for it. Make sure you have your CV, the job description, and of course, do some research on the company. Number 3, in-person interview. This is the most common type of interview and of course is held face to face. This is where they really get to know an individual. Not only that, but they actually get to read body language. The other reason why the in-person interview is so effective is because they actually get to double check facts. And of course, establish if the candidate is right for the position. Now, an in-person interview can range anywhere between 30 to 90 minutes. Number 4, a second in-person interview. This does depend on the company. Most companies may just stick to one in-person interview, but if you end up in a second in-person interview, means of course that you passed the test of the first in-person interview. And now you're back for more. These interviews can also go quite long, lasting half a day even. Simply put, this means that you've made it to the last rounds and this is the make or break moment. Not only that, but this can also mean that you're meeting 3 to 5 people, including human resources, the manager, office staff, and the head of department. Most important, be on the ball and show enthusiasm. Number 5, behavioral-based interviewing. This is a tested interviewing method, which simply means that there is actually quite a lot of research behind it. In fact, a lot of recruiters use this method because it really helps to really understand an individual. This will give them information on the individual's personality, history, even likely outcomes. So in this method, they analyze past performance, likely case scenarios, and ultimately can help determine possible outcomes. This type of method really does prove to be a much more in-depth way of analyzing a candidate. It has the ability to really show a candidate's ability to perform in a team, their communication skills, problem-solving skills, creativity, flexibility, leadership, and organization skills. Number 6, task-oriented or testing interview. These type of interviews are structured in a way that allow the candidate to show their creativity and analytical abilities in problem solving. This test usually goes through a variety of exercises and tasks. It may include a short test to evaluate one's technical knowledge and, of course, skills. Other tasks can involve delivering a presentation in front of a group to showcase one's communication skills. All of this, of course, depends on the job itself. Number 7, stress interview. This method is used to test the candidate's response. It is designed to highlight one's weaknesses and to see how one would react under pressure. There are actual tactics used in this method, such as constant interruptions, odd silences, and challenging type questions to push the candidate to their limit. Number 8, lunch interview. Well, this definitely sounds much better than the stress interview. This is a more laid-back form of interview and simply allows for a more casual meeting. Number 9, panel interview. Panel interviews are literally where you're being interviewed by a panel of several people. These are often people from different perspectives within the organization, like human resources or the manager, and sometimes employees on the team. Because they have different roles, they might ask you questions that affect different aspects of the business. Number 10, working interview. A working interview is where one performs the physical duties of the job. This can be common for jobs in writing or sales, for instance. They really want to see one applying their skills in a real situation. I hope this video was informational. As always, I do recommend that you hop onto our YouTube channel. We really do have a ton of informational and educational videos about the hiring process. And as always, if you would like us to help you and your business or teach your team how to hire, you can click the description box below, or you can go to our website for more information. Mitsuoka Company, the best recruiting business, period.